Life's a game, the world's a stage, and we are merely role-players, where theatrical people play role-playing games. I'm Matt Boothman, and I'm your compere for this main house production. Here on Merely Role-Players, we improvise stories to entertain you, and to entertain ourselves, because where'd be the fun otherwise? And we use role-playing games to keep the story going places even we can't see coming, because as theatrical people, we're all about maximising the drama. This is Act 1 of Vigil, Fear Itself, one of our main house productions. The main house is where we stage ongoing, serial stories, with characters and plots that develop and unfold over several productions. Vigil is the story of the outsiders and weirdos who step up to defend their neighbours from monsters and worse, after the government cuts their town's official team of paranormal investigators. To tell this story, we're playing Monster of the Week, a role-playing game by Michael Sands, published by Evil Hat. Fear Itself is the 9th of our Vigil productions in the main house. You don't need to have caught up on the first 8 to enjoy Fear Itself, but they do share a setting, characters, and a few ongoing plot threads. So if the backstory we hint at in this production gets you wanting more, I'd suggest going back and checking out Vigil Quarry and Vigil All Aboard. Or scroll all the way back to Vigil Playtime and follow the whole tale from the beginning. Starting from now, we'll be releasing a new act of Fear Itself every other week, and to keep you going through the weeks in between, sometimes we release backstage episodes that give you a peek behind the scenes. Stay tuned for the first one of those next week. In the meantime, please take your seats in the main house. Tonight's production is about to begin. Vigil, a Merely Role-Players main house production. Fear Itself, Act 1 of 5. Let's meet the players for this main house production.
Hello, I'm Chris Starkey and I'm playing Cameron Jarvis, the Wronged. About 15 years ago, my family were killed by ghouls. And now I'm out for revenge.
Hello, I'm Ellen and I'm playing Jess Butterworth, the Spooky. She is the local goth in Sherrydown. Until recently, in the last episode you'd have heard me in, which was All Aboard, my brother had been missing, and I have an invisible friend, spirit companion, called Kit, who helps and advises me in my magic.
Such great advice, always.
So good.
Hello, my name is Alexander Pankhurst. I'm playing Graham, the Summoned. Graham's been summoned. He doesn't know why, so he's just walking around Sherrydown, trying to figure out what humans do and how things behave. He's a demonic accountant, because, you know, they have to exist. And, I think the last time you saw Graham would have been in Bad Dog.
It's been quite a long time since we've seen Graham.
Yeah, Graham's been quiet around the back of Subway.
Also, I thought you were summoned because Ginny Greenteeth had the hots for you.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, she definitely does have the hots for me. And it is reciprocal, so, you know,
that's cute.
Graham's got the hots for Ginny.
Disgusting. How cute.
Moss's squiddy love.
We just want people to be happy. Apart from Cameron, who hates everyone.
Look, this is a body positive podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
More tentacles, the better.
Said almost no one.
How's everyone feeling? It's been, like we say, a long time since Graham's been in Vigil, although we've seen Alex possibly more recently, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Monumental Exit.
Monumental Exit.
I think was the last one.
And it's not been all that long since Jess was in Vigil, but Ellen, it's been a long time since you've been physically around a table with us.
With other people again.
Not since the Blackshaw saga.
Crazy. Yeah, no, it's lovely. It's lovely. I'm slightly overwhelmed and a bit clammy, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I feel like this is a group where we are cutting the brake cables before we even start rolling. Cameron is driven purely by rage. Jess has no impulse control as a mechanic of her playbook. And Graham has previous for absolutely wrecking up the village green and throwing things. And also the fact that Graham is often just kind of happy to go along with what everybody else is doing. So given that the other two characters are driven by dark desires, there isn't really an adult in the room here, is there?
There's no Briar or Ginny to hold Cameron back this time. No Gwen to go, I shouldn't be doing that. You've got to fight for the right reasons. Bullshit! We fight for my reasons.
It's also worth noting that we're trying out doing a few of these Vigil recordings with only 3 player characters. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes. It might be that we get a little more time for each character in the spotlight to sort of focus on what they're doing, what their desires and their inner life is like, and that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes.
I was going to say it might be easier to make decisions with less people, but I don't feel like our characters are very like, what should we do? What's the best course of action?
Is it ever hard for Jess to make a decision when Kit knows what they want?
Yep.
We're basically all the dogs from Up going, squirrel! Ghoul!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ghoul!
Well, let's play to find out what happens. Let's take the stage. Jess Butterworth, let's start with you.
Great.
You and your spiritual companion, Kit, once a mortal, spirited away to fairyland at a young age, made their way back to the mortal world long after their original mortal lifespan would have ended, and therefore is untethered, incorporeal, and has attached themselves to you. The relationship between the two of you has been a little bit tense since all aboard, let's say.
Oh, yeah. Jess, I think, has been reading up a lot about creating healthy boundaries and been at the library and checked out quite a few books on mindfulness and is desperately trying to... Because for Jess, Kit is her one source of magic, but she is real pissed off with him. So as and when he does come back, it has to be on her terms. So, yeah. She's got some mantras.
Nice.
Where is Jess? Kit is the one to make the approach back to Jess.
Okay.
Where are you when this happens?
I think I am sitting on the grass by the duck pond, sort of the other side of the pub. I'm keeping away from and I am awkwardly cross-legged in my skinny jeans and knee-high DMs, sitting and trying really hard to meditate in the grass.
So skinny jeans, DMs, anything else people would notice about Jess seeing her sitting on the village green?
She's a bit try-hard. She's got the blunt bangs and the heavy eyeliner and too much jewellery up wrists, round neck.
As you're trying to meditate, it's hard. It's not something you've tried much before, and so it's hard to concentrate, and you do find yourself opening your eyes and sort of breaking out of that calm sense fairly regularly. And one of the times that you open your eyes, you see Kit approaching with that kind of hunched, round-shouldered shuffle of somebody who is heading for a meeting that they really don't want to have.
Mm-hmm. Kit originally was very charismatic, sort of new romantic style, androgynous, very charming. I think he's lost his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's jeans, t-shirt, and the perfect manicured hair is a mess, and the eyeliner is a little smudgy.
Almost like Kit is sort of the cool friend at school, but they're going through a rough patch and they're maybe like sleeping on a friend's sofa is the look.
Exactly that, yeah.
If there's anybody else around, they don't react to Kit at all. Kit is visible only to Jess. And Kit approaches and sits down, also cross-legged on the grass, hunched far forward, next to Jess, not looking at her, and after a pause says, I didn't come to say I'm sorry, all right?
I would never expect you to lower yourself so far. Where have you been, Kit?
Round and about, thinking, working out what to do, because it seems like things are different now, right?
Yeah, a little bit, Kit. A little bit different. You know, after everything that happened, I thought maybe you'd come find me, that we'd have a conversation about it, that you'd explain yourself, but you just bloody disappeared. So, I don't know what you want from me. But I've been living my own life for a while, you know?
When did you get so fucking boring?
Jess's eyes ping open, and she flushes, and she goes to look at him, but stops herself. You know what? I have always wanted to be better than this town, and you always told me that you were the way that I could prove myself, but you're just selfish, Kit. You're selfish and you're mean. So if you still want to be friends with me, then you're going to have to prove that you're not going to do the same things you did before, and that you actually give a fucking shit about me too.
Blah, 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 blah. This used to be fun, you know? You used to be fun. We used to be fun. I'm starting to think maybe you were never fun. It was only ever me. Maybe this would all be better if it was just me. And you know what, Jess? I think everyone else might like you better if you were me. About your mum and dad, that relationship's been rocky, hasn't it? I'd be better. I'd be better at that too.
Jess is gritting her teeth. She's trying not to acknowledge him. She's trying not to let anyone see. She's going to bolt to her feet. If you do anything to upset the friendships that I've been trying to heal since you last shat on them, I will never speak to you again. You have no power apart from through me, Kit. You're nothing. You're just a ghost. So bring it, bring it. If you really think that you can take control of my life, that you could ever form any kind of relationship with the people that I care about, then try it.
Yeah, I think your family and friends would love me, actually. Sometimes when you're asleep, I take you out for a little walk around, chat with them. I've had some really good conversations, just over a bottle of wine in the evening with your mum and dad. They laugh so much when I'm being you. You should just let me be you all the time.
You're lying.
A hand reaches out to your face. Ellen, if you want, this would be an appropriate point where you could roll to read a bad situation.
Yes, please. I would really like to do that.
Which is a plus sharp roll.
Yes, so +1.
Yeah, so we roll 2 six-sided dice and add that.
Oh my god!
That was snake eyes. So that's a 3. Oh no! I'm in danger.
Jess, you've bolted to your feet. You left Kit sitting cross-legged on the green, and you were deliberately sort of not looking at Kit while talking, and you feel hands on either side of your head. Kit is incorporeal, but they feel real to you. And the hands begin to squeeze. Just come with me now. I know what's best. Cameron Jarvis.
Yeah, boy.
There's a new kind of ghoul in Sherrydown.
Ooh.
So ghouls are formed out of kind of irrational petty fears. We've met ghouls that inhabit hoodies and jeans, forming out of the irrational fear of packs of feral youths on the high street.
The greater good.
You're aware of ghouls that inhabit animal skins that are kind of feeding off the fear of secret government GM laboratories out in the woods and that kind of thing. You've been tracking a couple of ghouls that pack their smoke and shadow selves into shells of paper printed all over with kind of garish headlines, unreadable text.
Right.
You've been tracking this one for the better part of a day.
Okay.
Waiting for your opportunity to strike, maybe waiting to see if it can lead you to a full nest.
Right.
So that you can clear out an infestation rather than just one.
Mm-hmm.
And you followed it to the village green, where you see it standing behind Jess Butterworth with a papery hand on either side of her head.
Holy smokes.
Smoke and shadow leaking out of the eye holes and mouth hole that look like they've been punched roughly with scissors in its paper mask, leaking out of its mask and starting to writhe around Jess's head. You see tendrils of it breathed in through her mouth and nose.
Well, there's only one course of action here, Matthew. I fucking well charged in. Get off her right now, you fucker! And I got a swing.
I believe this is going to be a protect someone move.
Yeah, I'll protect someone. I'll
Which
protect
I think
Jess.
is a plus tough, right?
Plus tough. Actually, can I do something else just really, really quickly first?
Yeah.
Can I scan to see if there's any other ones around the place?
Roll plus sharp. Read a bad situation.
God. Well, that's a 4. So that's great. Yes, so I look around.
You're pulled up short seeing this. Maybe the fact that this is attacking somebody that you know throws you for a second. You're on the edge of charging forward or be it taking a more cautious approach and looking around. And a papery arm comes around your neck and you hear in your ear, "Stay out of this."
No. And I just flip the axe around and smack it in the face with the axe.
Great. Roll to kick some ass.
Yes, please. So this is going to be...
As you flip the axe around and swing it back, and the arm that is around your neck splits into sharp, papery fronds and
Right, plus
tendrils.
4. Here we go. That is an 11.
That's a bit more like it.
There's more, Cameron.
So on a 10 plus on kick some ass, you get some extra options. You're going to deal the damage of your axe. It's going to deal the damage of its paper cutting claws.
Yeah. I will... Actually, you know what? I might do the other thing, which I can force them where I want them to be. Actually, I'm going to sort of aim for the arm and try and cut the arm off.
Amazing.
Because I think I've got to get to Jess. I can deal this guy later on. I've got to get to Jess.
You cleave all the way through this one that's got you. Completely obliterate it. Your axe is magic now.
It certainly
and
is.
can cut through the actual substance of the ghoul, not just destroy its
Oh,
shell.
yes, it can.
What does that look like as your enchanted axe, enchanted with your own rage for revenge, your own need for blood, carves through the smoke and shadow of this ghoul's being?
I think, whereas previously he'd done it, the smoke has sort of drifted away. Now there's like a piece of paper bursting into flames, sort of like a bit of flash paper, goes psst, and just vanishes in a puff.
We should establish, is anybody else around? What time of day is it?
If you're meditating, probably, I imagine you're under the shade of a tree. I reckon there's quite a few people around.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not being, subtle in any way.
Incredible. Okay, so yeah, people start getting up from their evening picnics and starting to make moves and see what's happening and panic. But you cleave through this ghoul, not before its claws rake across your neck, trying to cause paper cuts for 2 harm. Didn't think so. Cameron's too well prepared for ghouls.
Oh yeah, boy, they can't get me.
And you force effectively the pack where you want them, i.e. getting rid of this one and clearing yourself a path to Jess.
Yeah.
Jess, far, far down in your consciousness, so quiet, you hear, "Mate, wake up! Open your eyes! Wake up!"
What, Kit? What are you doing to me, Kit?
"Mate, that's not me!"
What is it?
Graham,
Hi.
normally your stomping grounds are like out the back of the market street where the Greasy Spoon is, and the Subway and other kind of places with the good bins.
Oh, such sweet bin material.
The good food bins. But need a change of scenery every now and then.
Yeah.
Do you want to pop out of one of the bins out the back of the pub or one of the park bins around the village green?
Oh, well, since you gave me that option, it's got to be park bin, like a demented tentacled squirrel.
So, Graham, you're getting a little bit of a change of scenery and a bit of a change of delicacy, a little bit of an exploratory bin gourmand around Sherrydown.
Variety of the spice of life.
Trying out the bins around here. People are having picnics, so there's some food being thrown away in these bins these days. When you detect a commotion, the rumbling whispers of ghouls, a blade ripping through paper.
And all of the shouting that Cameron has been doing as well.
And mostly all of Cameron's shouting. What do you do?
Well, first and foremost...
Finish your mouthful.
Yeah. Never fight with a full mouth. Could end up all over your lovely suit. So Graham has got his hand right down to probably about shoulder level in a bin, and he's just having a rummage around. Upon hearing all of this commotion, his head snaps to exactly where it's coming from. He sees Cameron. He sees Jess. He slowly retrieves his hand from the bin, puts whatever is in his hand / tentacle into a pocket, in air quotes, and saunters over to where all of the general chaos is occurring. To the normal people, they see a man smartly dressed, waistcoat, sleeve garters, smartly pressed shirt, tie with a little tie clip, all very sort of well manicured. If you caught him out sort of the corner of their eye, they see something slightly shifty, slightly like writhy, and they're not really sure what that is, so they don't look. But if you look at him dead on, he just looks like an incredibly well turned out man who's just been rummaging around in a bin. Completely normal. Nothing to see here.
The sleeve that was buried in the bin is completely spotless.
Oh, completely spotless. There's nothing on the sleeve whatsoever.
Yeah. So Graham saunters across the green towards this tree, towards this commotion. You can see that there is a paper humanoid shell leaking smoke and shadow that is threatening Jess. You can see Cameron walking towards that. If you'd like to see anything else, you could roll a bad situation.
Oh, I'll absolutely try to see if I can see anything else.
Great. Roll plus sharp for us. That's
great, because Graham is -1 on that, so I'm gonna use the dice tower. Yeah, I'm gonna use the dice. That's a 4. So I was like, that's 5. No, it's not. It's -1. It's a 4. So that's a fail.
As you're sauntering up to this situation, out of the shadow of another nearby tree, another papery creature slips out lightning fast and trips you, kicks one of your legs out from under you, and attempts to pin you to the ground, again saying, "Stay out of this."
Can I try and act under pressure to bring myself more out?
You can, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That would be act under pressure roll plus cool.
Oh, -1.
That's all right.
9.
Hey!
Could I try to help?
You
in
sure
some
can,
way
yeah.
To make that a 10?
Yeah, how would you like to help bring Jess? Because you can kind of see that Jess seems kind of out of it.
Sure.
That she's not reacting the way that you would expect one of the monster hunting friends that you know.
Yeah.
How you would expect one of those people to react to a ghoul trying to attack them.
I'm going to throw me axe.
Yay!
I'm going to throw me axe.
That'll do it.
And try and hit the ghoul. But it's not really a throwing axe, so
No.
part of it's going to hit him. It may not be
it's a
damaging.
distraction as much as anything
Exactly.
to try and get it off Jess so that she can concentrate.
There's also -1 for health. We'll see. Well, no, that's not going to do it. That's 3.
Cam, out of another nearby bin, this mass of crumpled paper leaps out of the bin and unfolds into this crumpled rough shape of a person, one arm shorter than the other, limbs ending in these splayed fronds of thin strands of paper ready to cut. It leaps at you as you're readying to throw your axe and entangles you in those papery fronds at the end of its limbs, around your wrist, around your thigh, and again is trying to lock you up, immobilise you, and bear you to the ground.
I'm coming, Jess! Be there in a second!
You're in the way. But Jess,
Yes.
you still can do this. There will just be a worse outcome, a tough choice, or a price to pay.
Ooh. I thought a price to pay because I think the way that Jess is going to do this is find the little voice that's Kit inside her mind and get him to say her little mindfulness mantras that are meant to be like, I'm an independent, strong woman, to bring herself back to the forefront. Kit, with me, please. Come on. I celebrate my extended self.
Extended self.
My power of intention lies within.
This is bullshit.
I know. Come on. I am bliss. Come on, Kit.
I fucking have to.
I am bliss.
I am bliss.
Yes.
Yes. I think also as part of this, as you have this conversation with Kit in your head, physically you are able to kind of begin struggling. And what you still don't know, what these two can see, is the paper ghoul behind you takes one hand off the side of your head, wraps it around your neck, and there is a couple of small paper cuts open up on your throat, beginning to redden the paper of its form, just for one harm.
Okay.
Now that it's hurt you, it doesn't feel like Kit anymore.
Okay.
You can feel around your neck that these fingers feel like paper. You can feel the paper cuts. You can actually see, when you sort of get out of your mind's eye and into your real vision, you can see tendrils of smoke and shadow closing around your vision. The illusion that allowed it to masquerade as Kit is broken now that it's harmed you.
Okay.
And you do come more back to yourself. Kit's voice comes more strongly through into your mind, and flickering into view in the shadow of one of the trees, still in that more dishevelled form, you see Kit flickering into view as if like you're tuning a staticky TV.
Okay. Can I read a bad situation?
Yeah.
Which is +1 sharp. That is 12.
With a 10, you get 3 questions off read a bad situation.
This might be a complete swing and a miss. Do I recognise the paperiness of this?
Oh, it's familiar.
Oh, okay. So as Jess's eyes start to open, she sees these papery hands and gets instant flashbacks to being in a corridor in an abandoned train station, and she knows exactly what she needs to do. What's the biggest threat?
The one that's got you is the biggest threat.
Right, okay.
There is a pack of these things around, but the one that's got you is in a position to seriously hurt you because you are unarmoured and it has a good hold on your throat. And Cameron and Graham are much less vulnerable to these things in general. Like you think that they will be able to deal with the ones that are trying to pin them in pretty short order. You're the one that's in danger. The ghoul that's holding you is the thing that can hurt you.
Okay. And finally, what's my best way out?
I mean, very simply, kill this ghoul.
Okay, yeah, you're cool.
But also, paper tears.
Yep.
You could probably just straight up tear this thing's arm off.
Okay. So as Jess is coming out and she can see what this is, she knows exactly what she needs to do. And from a very dry mouth, worst dry mouth you've ever experienced in your life, she croaks out, "Burn it! Burn it!" And she's trying to get a knife out of her belt at the same time.
Graham's probably going to have to do something, otherwise he's just going to have a ghoul sat on top of him, which he doesn't really like. So
you were taken by surprise enough that it could trip you up.
Absolutely.
These things are pretty insubstantial. They don't really have any weight to them. You could probably just get up and walk with it on you.
Okay.
If you needed
to.
to.
So what Graham's going to do, because the glamour is just going to rotate under the ghoul. And Graham's going to look at the ghoul and go, "Oh, what did you do that for? That wasn't very pleasant, was it?" And he's just going to withdraw the tie clip, at which point the tie clip transforms into a gigantic hellsword that goes straight through the ghoul.
Got a delivery to make and you're in.
Sorry, what was that?
Roll plus tough to kick some ass.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it, won't it?
6, 8 on the dice. So yeah,
Whatever
plus my
is.
tough, which is 2, I think.
There you go. That's a full 10. You're going to deal your harm. It's going to deal its harm with its paper cutting tendrils.
Yes.
And on a 10 plus, you also get an extra option from kick some ass.
I'm going to force them wherever I want them to go.
Its paper cutting claws do 2 harm.
Which do not affect me, as I am. I have 2 armour at all times. Shall I feel that?
It's just flailing at what would be the vulnerable, thin-skinned, fleshy parts on the glamoured human that it can see, at your throat, at your eyes.
Yeah.
But there is just no vulnerable stuff there for it.
It's just coming away with the sort of sharp, papery tendrils are getting sort of ichory and wet. And they're just kind of flapping at me. The Hellsword does 4 damage and has gone straight through the papery ghoul. But with the extra one, what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to use my sword and fling it towards the other ghoul. So you get a body of a ghoul getting flung towards the ghoul that's currently on Jess.
Amazing. Yeah, like I say, these things don't have a lot of weight to them, but weirdly, this one's actually got a bit more bulk to it now that it's absorbed some ichor.
Oh, man.
It's like a damp tissue. I've just spitballed the other one.
You've spitballed Jess's attacker.
Love it.
Said burn it.
This is the opposite of that. So yeah, Jess, you say burn it, and immediately a damp paper being slaps wetly into the ghoul that's trying to hold you, and both of them hit the grass. You're free.
Thank you.
You're very much welcome.
Matt, does the ghoul that was on Jess, does it seem different to the other ghouls?
No, they all seem pretty much the same to your expert ghoul hunting eye.
Right. Well, it's time to go to work, boys and girls. I'd like to rip the thing off me. If it's just made out of paper, I'll just
Sure.
ignore that shit. So I sort of rip its arms off.
Do what you need to do.
I turn around and just backswing it and kill it. Because it's weak. Shall I roll for tough? I just leveled up and I got a new skill.
Oh, okay, do it then.
I get +1 to kick some ass and I use my big axe.
Amazing.
So now I've got plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Oh, God.
to kill ghouls with, which is handy because I rolled a 6. So that's an 11.
So what extra option would you like from Kick Some Ass?
I'm going to put it where I want it. I'm going to make a little bundle. Seeing Graham's idea, I thought, that's a good idea. And so then I fling it.
So, slice through,
Yep.
and that destroys the smoke and the shadow that is sort of inflating the paper, and then you can just crumple the paper up.
Yep. And as I'm going, I crumple it up and I just throw it on top of the pile as I charge towards the now growing bundle of ghouls.
I'm still sauntering. I'm perfectly happy with the situation, and it looks fairly under control.
Not in a hurry.
Not in a hurry.
Well, Cameron looks like a guy who's going to go chop some wood. He saunters over and he just smacks, smack, 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 smack. And big puffs of smoke flash up, and then more around us, Matt.
That's the pack. You got them.
Okay.
You got them all.
Well, that's a good day's work. You all right, Jess? I'll slap her back a little bit.
The actual fuck was that?
See, they're ghouls. And they're pretty fucking shit.
I thought ghouls were I don't know, smoky and in hoodies. That was sharp.
Yeah, they are sharp as well, though. They like to scratch with... I had knives last time I fought them. Now it's paper seems a downgrade from a knife, but, a paper cut is one of the most painful cuts you can get.
That is very true. I've been told.
Not too close.
That. Sorry.
Squidward, just take a step.
Certainly.
Thanks.
I'll just stand here.
With that slight dissonance in mind, either Jess or Cameron, if you want to roll Investigate a Mystery, you have kind of triggered that move if you'd like to roll it.
Ooh.
So this is a plus.
Go on, I rolled last time.
Okay.
So you can roll this time. I should have rolled.
No, I don't like my new dice. With plus sharp, still a 4. Still a 4. Can I spend some luck?
You certainly can.
Because I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Reminds us what happens when the spooky spends luck.
My dark powers get stronger.
Your dark desires.
Yes. The rage, poor impulse control, and dark bargain. It's gonna be fine.
And I thought I was the problem.
And it's all just, I want to know a bit more.
Yeah. With that luck point spent, you have a 10 plus on an Investigate a Mystery, which I
Nice.
believe means you can ask 2 questions.
Yes.
Coming off the back of the fact that Cameron is saying these are ghouls,
And
Jess definitely has the sense that she's encountered these before in the depot, being known as busybodies.
And my finger is pointing at what sort of creature is it?
Just based on this conversation and based on your reaction to this thing, what you've observed from this thing, kind of working the two of you together, sort of sharing your recollections and your knowledge, you think these things are both.
Ooh.
Which has implications. Milton and Clarissa, the other human spiritual companion pairing that Jess met in the depot, they create busybodies. And it's Milton's power. Kit's counterpart Milton that is able to create busybodies. Ghouls are a different thing, but these combine elements of both, which suggests some collaboration behind the scenes.
Oh. What was it going to do?
They were whispering things in all of your ears. So they were saying they had a job to do and that Graham and Cam were in their way. And one of them said they were trying to make a delivery.
Okay.
They were here to get Jess.
Oh.
This was an attempted kidnapping.
Okay.
Jess, who might want to get you got?
Well, I don't have many friends, but I wouldn't say I've got a lot of outright enemies. The only...
I was going to say, does Casper the Unfriendly Ghost have anything to say about this?
Mate, what if it wasn't you they wanted?
Oh.
They came... I could smell it. They came from him.
Kit's made a very good point. There's a chance that it's not me they're after, but it might be his old mate, Milton, looking for him.
Right.
In which case, we're a bit buggered.
Where's Milton?
Kit, do you have any idea where Milton is now?
Still hard to tell. I could never tell where he was before we went there, but I haven't felt him pop up anywhere else. I think he's probably still in that depot.
I really don't want to go back there. It was so creepy.
Me neither, mate.
Okay, well, Kit thinks that this guy Milton, who might be trying to get hold of him, is probably still back in the depot between stations on the ghost train.
Since this discussion is happening, I'll give you this for free as well, Cam.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that ghoul did to Jess is not a normal ghoul thing.
No.
The approach where it disguised itself as
sure.
something else and was playing on her fears doesn't feel like a normal ghoul thing, but it does feel like a ghoul that you're familiar with.
Daddy Ghoul.
Daddy Ghoul.
Yes. Okay.
I've got a question for you, Matt. Can Graham see Kit?
We've never had them in the same scene before, so I think this is a point where we can establish that.
Graham's demon. Demons have different sight to humans. Would he be able to see a ghost? I don't know. Do I have to roll for it?
But I quite like the idea of you having like different spectrums that you can see.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was.
I'm perfectly happy for you, Alex and Ellen, to decide between yourselves whatever feels right. Kit is able to make themselves visible to anybody. They just usually choose not to.
Right.
Whether Graham can see Kit when they're intentionally being invisible is, I'm happy for the two of you to decide.
What do you reckon?
I think so. I don't think you necessarily see exactly what I see, but I think that you see something.
Like maybe like an outline or an aura or something.
You can see where he is and kind of roughly what he's doing, but not necessarily like detailed facial expressions or...
Okay.
Is that cool?
I'm very happy with that.
Nice, good.
Cool.
Amazing.
How many people are screaming around us, Matt?
That's a good question.
Cameron in particular is getting some very wary looks, and there like some people had their phones out.
I wave. Hi, guys.
I think maybe Jess is a little bit conscious that we're close to her family pub and she wants to shift elsewhere if possible.
Right.
Shall we go to Percy's old tower? I've got the keys these days.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, shall we go there?
Alright, lovies, it's me, Matt, your compere. I hope you enjoyed the first act of this new main house production. There will now be an interval of 2 weeks before Act 2, but we won't leave you in the lurch next week. We'll be inviting you backstage to listen in on our conversation about how these characters are tied together in their backstories. Stay tuned now for the credits and the epilogue at the end of the episode, but first let's take a very quick look at the programme for this production. You'll notice that this episode has a couple of additional credits. Natalie Winter and Josh Yard contributed some additional voice work for this episode. Wonder if you spotted it. In other main house productions, in other Vigil stories, Natalie plays Gwynedd the Divine, and Josh plays Ginny Greenteeth, the Spell Slinger. Also in the programme, an ad placed by our friends at the Thorn Files podcast. They are, what are the odds, another podcast playing Monster of the Week with a British setting. But we're not treading on each other's toes, because while Vigil is set in the modern day, the Thorn Files is set all the way back in 1952. What does Monster of the Week in 50s Britain sound like? How is it different to Monster of the Week in modern Middle England? Here's a trailer to give you an idea.
Hello, this is Annabelle Thorne, current head of Thorne Investigations, a paranormal investigations company set up in Edinburgh. I'm here to tell you today that monsters are real, and have been real for centuries, only they've been hiding. We don't understand why they're coming into the light now, but if you see anything, if you hear anything that makes you think you're in contact with one, tell us. We can help. I have a few agents in the field just now, Evangeline Lane Fox, Peter Anderson, Vera Bright, and, for better or worse, my niece, Tabitha. Don't hesitate to tell us. If you do, you might not get another chance.
The Thorn Files podcast is a Monster of the Week actual play podcast with new episodes coming out every other Friday. If you're a fan of horror, mysteries, and shenanigans, why don't you come and give us a listen at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and pretty much everywhere else you can get podcasts. Be ready to be scared. This has been Vigil, a main house production from Merely Roleplayers. It stars Christopher Starkey as Cameron Jarvis, Ellen Gould as Jess Butterworth, and Alexander Pankhurst as Graham. I'm Matt Boothman and I play the supporting cast. Editing and sound design by me, and the theme music is by Alexander Pankhurst. We were playing Monster of the Week, a role-playing game by Michael Sands, published by Evil Hat Productions. You can find Monster of the Week at genericgames.co.nz. Merely Roleplayers is a Foggy Outline production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Until next time, if drama be the food of life, Play on. At 5 minutes to midnight, a man arrives on Sheridan Green. He doesn't emerge from the duck and parsnip, rattle up on a bike, or walk out of the forest. He simply arrives. The man sits down on a bench by the duck pond to wait. He slouches. It doesn't look like there's much of him under the baggy old clothes, but he spreads and manages to take up most of the bench. He cranes his head back and watches the full moon roll across the night sky. At 5 minutes past midnight, the man takes out a tarnished pocket watch. He looks up at the moon and down at the watch's 6 hands, none of which are moving, and he sighs. It's a resigned sort of sigh. But underneath the sigh is the hint of a wicked smile.